This video is going to talk about backing stuff up so you don't lose your data on your computer. When we talk about backing things up, it happens in the background. We don't really think about it. It does it on its own, and we have a way to do this at Whitfield. It's called SmartSync. Now, you do need to be on campus in order for this to happen, so hopefully you are. If you're not, get here. You could ride a bike, you could walk. Helicopter is a popular method of transportation. Whatever you need to do, get on campus and you can continue with this setup process. The first thing we want to do is get you to your shared drive. Hopefully you know how to do this, but if you don't, you can just open up a File Explorer window from your taskbar on your desktop, and then on the left-hand sidebar, you should see all your drives. One of them should be shared. If you don't see your drives or you don't see the shared drive, you can't really continue with the rest of this video, so you need to go to the support center in the IC and we'll figure out what's going on. The next step is to click on that shared drive, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm looking for a file called SmartSync Setup. Don't open it from here. The first thing we want you to do is drag that to your desktop. So I'm going to click and hold, drag it over onto my desktop. Shouldn't take very long, maybe a minute at most. Once it's copied though, I'm going to have to ask you to double click on that thing because we want to install that right away. And you'll get a window like this that's a setup window. We're going to be clicking next a lot, so just get ready for this. Next, I accept the license agreement. Next, 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 and it should install. Hopefully. You don't see this window on my screen, but you'll get one of these user account control windows. The screen will dim. You can go ahead and click yes on that. There we go. Now it's installing. All right, great. So we're going to hit finish. You're then going to see a new icon on your desktop over here called SmartSync Pro 4. We're going to want to double click on that also. You're going to see a user account control window again. Screen will dim. You don't see it on my screen, but go ahead and click yes. And you should see this SmartSync Pro window pop up. One thing you want to do at this point is check to see at the very bottom of that window, does it say this copy of SmartSync Pro is licensed to Whitfield School? If it says that, great. If it doesn't, you're definitely going to want to stop what you're doing and come to the support center so we can figure out what's going on. We want to wait for another window to pop up. It should say something like Upgrade or Update Wizard because we definitely want to download and install any kind of update that they have. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button. And it'll minimize for you. Some things will restart. We're going to wait for that to update and then restart on its own. You might see a bubble down here that says something like SmartSync is an icon in your system tray, something like that. That's fine. We can actually click on that icon when we see that message, or even if you don't see that message and everything minimized and went away, it's a good time to go down here and select it. I'm going to click the little up arrow because I don't see my system tray icon. Then you're looking for something with two blue arrows. Mine has an exclamation point next to it. Just ignore that. You're looking for two little blue arrows. Go ahead and click on it, and that should open up. Now the first thing we need to do is create a profile. So there's a big square button over here on the upper left-hand side of the window. Go ahead and click that to create a profile. And then in this window it's going to say, what do you want to synchronize? That just means what stuff is really important that you want me to back up for you. I would say that everything's really important except for that SmartSync Pro profiles and settings. So go ahead and click the checkbox for everything on there. Except SmartSync Pro. Your screen might look a little bit different than mine, but it's basically everything except that SmartSync Pro settings. I'm going to click Next here, and this is where if I have some kind of app that saves things in a custom place, I can select that folder and ask SmartSync to back it up for me. Now here's what you don't want to do. If you have an app that, say a game that saves data somewhere that's kind of custom or unusual, you don't want to back that kind of stuff up because it's just not critical or super important for what you do at school. The reason you don't want to do that is because it's going to drastically cut down on the performance of your computer, because it's going to be sending back and forth some of this non-critical, sometimes fairly large data or files. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's fine, because 99% of you aren't going to need to do anything on this window. If you're not sure, you can come and ask us, but go ahead and continue without doing anything on this screen. Let's hit next. And now in this folder, I need to tell SmartSync where I want to back my files up to. And we have to create that folder for it. So let's go ahead and see if you can get to your H drive. So I still have my File Explorer window open over here. If you don't have it open, go ahead down to your taskbar and open up one of these windows. In the same place where I saw my share drive, I should have another drive on there that has my name on it and then the letter H. So for mine, it says matt.digiulio, homedir, and the letter H. If you do not see that, you can't continue with this process at this point, so you need to wait and go to the support center to get things fixed up for you. For the rest of you, go ahead and click on your H drive, and what I want to do in here is create a new folder. I can either do that here on the new folder button, or up at the top left part of this window I can click on this new folder button, or I can just right click in the window and say I want a new folder, and let's just name it backup, and then hit enter. Then I'm going to go back over to my SmartSync new profile wizard and tell it where to send all these files to. We want to send it to the folder that we just created on our H drive. So what I want to type in is the letter H, and then a colon, you can see I've already done this, and then a backslash. And this is the slash button that's above your enter key. Make sure it matches what I'm typing in. The slash above the enter key, and then the word backup, because that's what we named our folder over here on our H drive. So at this point I'm going to click next, and don't worry about this window, click next, next again, and now I've got a few things I've got to select here. So let's check out this schedule window, and I want to say that I want it to run every few hours. And then I leave all this stuff that pops up here. If I change anything down here, like run every, right now it's set at 2 hours. Let's say, oh man, I want to back everything up every 3 minutes. That's another thing that's going to drastically cut down on the performance of your computer. So you want to leave it at 2 hours. That's a pretty good interval. Then up at the top here, I want to select that I also want it to run on folder changes. So make sure you select on folder changes. Just below that, I don't want it to run on the weekends because chances are you're not going to be here a lot, and this only works at school. So select Sunday, select Saturday, and it won't run during those days because you'll get a lot of weird pop-ups like errors. I can't synchronize this file because I can't find the server. So go ahead and select those so you don't have to worry about that. Then click next. And this is where you need to give the profile a name. It probably says Mozilla Firefox. That's just the first thing you might have selected when you selected what to back up. I'm just going to name it my last name, backup, DiGiulio backup. You can name it something like that too. Go ahead and click the finish button. Now there's one more thing you need to do after you hit that finish button, and that's to select the options button all the way at the top on the right. In this window you want to look for the startup tab, and yours probably looks like this. Launch SmartSync Pro on startup. You want to make sure that that checkbox is selected. And then over here it says wait 0 minutes before running profiles. You saw mine said 5. That's because I had already messed around with this. So you want yours to say wait 5 minutes before running profiles. That means it's not going to back stuff up right when you log into the computer. It's going to just wait a few minutes to do that. You can also uncheck the box that says show the splash screen. Then you're not going to see that annoying little screen that pops up every time the thing starts. Go ahead and click OK there, and you're good to go. At this point, go ahead and close it. You have a couple of icons on your desktop. Feel free to delete those because you don't need them. Those are just shortcuts. And that's pretty much it. If you have any problems with this backup system, or you see, oh, look, doing my backup right now. DiGiulio backup, pretty exciting. If you have any problems or you see an error message down there where you saw that bubble, come by the support center in the IC and we'll help you figure things out.